feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could take.
Hello, all my beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing so great today. I have a story for you. So, I was just in on the wrong live stream. I scheduled my members only live stream for the wrong time. So, I'm sitting there waiting on my members only live stream, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I see a couple comments, and I'm like, oh my God, I scheduled it for the wrong damn day. And then I backed out and came in here. StreamYard can be a little bit tricky when you schedule stuff. So I apologize that I'm running a little bit late, which I always am in Tia time. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I will do the members only live stream tomorrow. I apologize sincerely. I'm literally sitting there waiting for like 10 minutes and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then I looked, I'm like, oh shit, I'm on the wrong live and I scheduled it wrong. So I apologize for that. And if you guys remember when I went to Bath and Body Works and I showed you guys all the stuff that I got? Wait a minute, I gotta get my back front. Okay. And I showed you guys all that stuff I got, right? Well, I'm hoping it's my sweater, but I haven't used Bath and Body Works in a long time. But anybody who ever shops at Bath and Body Works, if you know, they have two different body washes. One is like in a clear tube and then it's smaller, and then they have another one where it's in a plastic tube and it's bigger. And one of them is more nourishing. It's a little bit more expensive, the bigger one, because it has like aloe in it and cocoa butter. I've never had any problems with that one. But the one in the clear tube, I've never used. And I used it last night, and this morning I broke out in hives. So I do have a new sweater on. So my fiance is like, it's probably a sweater, because this sweater is like a different kind of cotton. I'm hoping it is, but it might be the Bath and Body Works. So if you see me itching, it's because I broke out in hives, okay? So that's why I'm not going to be on here that long. This is actually a really short story that I wanted to share with you guys. But I'm hoping that if that's not it. So the one in the littler tube, it has more fragrance in it, I think. I don't know. It's just, oh Lord. I gotta get like some hydrocortisone or something. No, we don't have any animals, so it's not fleas. It's just, this is a new sweater that I have on, so it could be the new sweater, or it could be, because I have really sensitive skin. I don't know. So for those of you that don't know, like I'm allergic to nail glue. Like if I wear nail glue, my whole hands will break out in hives. I have to use like a certain kind of gel. So I have really, really sensitive skin. And I'll show you guys in a second. Just for anybody else who has sensitive skin, you kind of have to be aware. I wish I didn't have sensitive skin. It sucks so bad. There's so many things I have to stay away from. It ruins your life, you guys. It really does. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So how are you guys today? Hi, science girl. It's good to see you. All over the damn place. Jeez. Okay. Cornstarch. Are you allergic to cornstarch? I'll show you guys. Just in case maybe you guys need to know. Okay. Let me turn on my ring light so you guys can see. Okay. So hold on. Before we start, give you some little education here. So, okay. So this is this. This has aloe and vitamin C. This is the shower gel. I've never used this before, but I think this might be what I'm allergic to. So it has more fragrance in it. And then there's this. This is the more expensive tube. And this one has like shea butter, cocoa butter. It moisturizes right after you shower. It's a body wash. This is a shower gel. I do think I'm allergic to this. So that sucks. I'm going to have to take it back. It's really bad, you guys. So, I mean, it's not bad. I've had way worse before. Like literally, I can't remember what I used, but one time I broke out really, really bad. It was like an emergency situation. So, I don't like the shower gels. Yeah, I'm going to have to take this back because I got a whole bunch of these and I'm going to have to just get these ones. These ones I have no problem with because it's more moisturizing. You know what I mean? Like it's a body wash. I never thought about that. This is a body gel, so it's more potent, which means it would have more fragrance in it. So, yeah, so I used this last night. Normally I use this. And yeah, I think this is it. And that just really sucks, because their soap breaks me out in hives. You too, Felony Melanie? Okay, so I'm not alone. I'm sorry that happens to you too. Commander doesn't like the shower gels. Okay. I'm allergic to the sun when it's really, really hot. Aw. Make sure, well, you should always wear, I didn't watch The Lead Attorney today. No, I didn't. You should always wear sunblock regardless. Like, that's important. But I'm sorry you're allergic to the sun, Commander. I'm allergic to so many things. Nail glue, which makes me so mad because I love doing my nails. I enjoy doing it, but I have to get like a special kind of gel. I'm allergic to. I don't know. I'm seeing it as I go. Okay, the older you get, the more the thinner your skin gets, and then you're more susceptible to having allergic reactions to things. Did you get good info? I will watch it after this live stream. I probably will be doing a live about her tomorrow. No, I'm not allergic to eyelash glue. What I've noticed is that I feel like really cheap stuff, I'm not going to lie, is what I'm allergic to. Just like last week I got some Wet n Wild, what is it called? Liquid eyeliner. And my eyes were a little bit swollen and they wouldn't stop watering. So sometimes I think it's just cheaper things that I'm allergic to with, different ingredients in it. But see if your doc will call and some prednisone works almost instantly. Does it? Well, then maybe that's what I'll have to do. Is that like that prednisone is a steroid, right? I wipe this off. Okay. Prednisone is a steroid. I will tell him. If it strips the skin of moisture, drying it out, so you can of course keep their body lotions and butters and use sales tactics. Yeah, I can't use this stuff anymore. Like, it's definitely, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's the sweater. I don't think it's, he think, whatever. Um, I think it's this because you have to just pay attention to the stuff that you don't normally use. And I don't normally use this. I use this stuff. And this stuff works really good. It has shea butter, coconut oil, cocoa butter, instant hydration, rich, creamy. Like this stuff is amazing. And I have eczema too. So, and this stuff has aloe. It says it's dermatologist tested though. But it has like ripe red berries, blood orange, crisp apple. I don't know. But I'm going to have to take it back. Oh, well, whatever. That's life. Okay. So I want to tell you guys a short story. That's the story. Okay. I'll tell my doctor. I wonder if you take the steroid, does that mean that you can start using stuff like, because I would like to do my nails, but probably not be able to. Mama knows best, but every now and then, the men is right. I agree, Commander. If it was the sweater, you would probably stop itching when you took it off. Right. I don't think it's the sweater. He does, but I think it's this. Like he always tries to, he's so positive, like he tries to look on the positive thing. Plus I got so many of these. So he's like, oh no, it's the sweater. I guarantee it's the sweater. And maybe it is, but I don't think that's what it is. Be careful with prednisone. It made me crazy. I have to watch taking that. Just see if you do okay. Pay attention to how you feel. Okay, thank you, Foxybot. No, it just clears up faster. Yeah. Well, I would just like to use nail glue really, really bad. It sucks. Like literally my whole hands will just break out like really, really bad. It's bad. It's tough because I have to watch everything. Sorry to hear. Sorry to her, Foxybot. I can't imagine what you have to go through. What did I miss? I have colitis. And when I was a kid, I was highly allergic to wheat. Ulcerative colitis. Is that like I don't know what that is. You'd have to explain that to me. It makes you gain weight. Prednisone does. I don't think like I think if my doctor was to put me on that, it wouldn't be for a long period of time, but no, won't be able to use the stuff you are allergic to. Yes, prednisone is short-term use, but doctor will tell you that. Yeah, prednisone, like I think if you were to take it for like a long period of time, it would make you gain weight because that happened with my mom. My mom gains a lot of weight when she was taking chemo and she had to take prednisone. So hopefully it goes away soon, whatever, you know. It is what it is. And of course that would happen to me, you know, which I probably should have paid attention to the fact that it's a shower gel. And I actually, when I picked it up, I thought that in my head, but I didn't go by my intuition. Your intuition is never wrong, you guys. Never wrong. Okay, so I want to tell you guys this short story. I think it is a very, very interesting story and maybe a story that it's a story that makes you think. It's a story that's happened a while ago, but I'm never the first to cover a story anyway. Not too many people talked about it, but people did talk about it. And it is a story about African spirituality and most importantly about revenge. Okay. And what that can turn into. It's you guys are going to have to be the judge of, regardless of whether you're a conspiracy theorist or not. This is something that it's one of those stories that really makes you think that, how do I put this? It's one of those stories that makes you kind of have to face the fact that certain things do exist, even if you don't want to believe it. Now, I don't know if any of y'all are a fan of American Horror Story. If you're a fan of American Horror Story and you've seen all of the episodes, I haven't seen all of the episodes. However, my favorite episode is, excuse me, The Coven. And it's something that I've always been interested in. I've really evolved when it comes to being more open-minded, and I pride myself on being more open-minded. I just seen, when was this? Well, was it yesterday or today? Who knows? Probably today. I just seen on the news where in certain schools in Ohio, in certain schools in Ohio, they are actually offering Satanist classes for kids. And a lot of people misinterpret what a Satanist is. However, it means something different to each individual. For some people, it may mean evil, but for some, it doesn't. It's more about the environment, the universe, things like that. And we'll talk about that one day. But I try to pride myself on being open-minded because everybody is different. Everybody's their unique own individual. And because of your religious beliefs or whatever it is that you choose to believe in doesn't make you a bad person. Okay. And I had to learn that gradually from meeting amazing people that believe and look at things differently than I do. And you definitely have to be open-minded to be able to coexist and to meet new people, because everyone has their own idea of what they believe in, and no one deserves to be judged for it except for if it's obviously something evil, if it's coming from a evil place. But excuse me, I had to learn, and trust me, it's not always easy, but for a lot of people, you you automatically hear something and you're just like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, or you might hear somebody says, I practice witchcraft, and you're just like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Some people are like that, and that's their right. But I have learned that I've met some pretty amazing people that believe in all different things, and I would prefer for it to be that way, and I think sometimes if the world was like that, it would be a better place. Yes, I am religious. However, I've definitely am getting more, and so is my boyfriend, more into a spiritual side too. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You can be religious and be spiritual as well. But I feel like I've gotten more like that as a creator, because there's been things that I've said when it pertains to, and this was like years ago. Well, I've only been doing this for like a year and a half, but when I started going live, there would be things like I said, and like one time somebody thought I was a witch because I like to wear black. Black is my favorite color. Well, that's obviously a huge stereotype, but I had said something like, "No, I'm not a witch." And there were people in my comments like, "You're saying that's like it's a bad thing." And I might have been saying it like it was a bad thing at that time, but now I don't look at things. I'm more open-minded. I look at things differently now. And I think if more people are like that, it would be great. So much more of a better place. So with this story, I think it's important to believe. Like, you have to believe. And if you are a spiritual person versus even a religious person, it doesn't matter. This is something that's undeniable. And I would love to hear any excuses that people come up with once I tell this story, but I don't think you're going to be able to come up with any excuses. And I definitely do not think that this is coincidental. That is everybody's excuse for everything. Oh, it's just a coincidence. With the whole Balenciaga thing, that's just a coincidence that they have like kids and all kinds of masks and stuff. That's not a coincidence. These things are done for a reason, whether you want to believe it or not. eventually you'll probably learn the hard way, because it is what it is. I come from down near the, is it Pontchartrain Bridge? So I grew up around Louisiana Voodoo. It doesn't it doesn't bigger me a bit. I don't do no bad. Chris, gear, green. I get what you're saying. So let's get into this story. It's a very short story, I promise. It's not long, but I do want to get you guys' opinion about it, because I think I invite everybody to be open-minded with me. Not everybody has to be a conspiracy theorist like myself, but I do hope that people would be more open-minded when it comes to the things that people practice, because it's real. It really is. And it's undeniable no matter what. I'm sure that's the main thing that most people will say, oh, that's just a coincidence that happened. No, you cannot. That's okay, Foxy Butt. Don't worry, this is not going to be long. So let me pull this up. Well, I'm actually not going to pull it up at first. So hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a picture, and I want you guys to see a picture of Kate Reston. Hold on. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so this is Kate Reston. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her last name right. I apologize if I'm not. She is basically, this is her Twitter. She was very, very active on Twitter. That's okay, Aesop. We're just glad you're here, sweetie. She is mostly on Twitter, but I just wanted to show you guys a picture of her before I tell you a little bit more about her. And we're going to go back to her Twitter in a minute anyway. So let me share my screen again, because I can only share one thing at a time. Well, I really don't have to share that part. But anyway, Kate Reston was 19 years old. She was a bright spirit who was very inspired by others, and pretty much especially inspired by others when she would have like challenging times, like she was just a very, very bright spirit. She lived in Virginia Beach, and she passed away unexpectedly on Sunday, April 19th, 2020. She's very young, only 19 years old, you guys. Caitlin was born on November 29th. She was born on November 29th in 2000. She was raised in Virginia Beach and attended Plaza, Middle, and Green Run High School. Excuse me. Caitlin was a proud new mom. She had a little baby, and she adored her baby. Her baby's name was Aaliyah. She was pretty much obsessed with her baby. She always posted pictures of her baby, which we all are, right? And because Caitlin had such a bright spirit, she always tends to give off a vibe of being resilient, and to keep going even in challenging times. She was always inspired by her family and friends, and she was very deeply loved by her family. Now, this story is just crazy. Now, on May 2020, there was a campaign, and the goal was 2,000 because she passed away unexpectedly, and they because of this GoFundMe, they ended up raising $9,000 or something like that. But she leaves behind her beautiful daughter Aaliyah, and she also left behind her mother and obviously her father. And hold on. Okay, so Kate, I'm just going to call her Kate. She practiced in the occult, okay? And there are frequent, like a lot of mentions of her name and rumors about her death. And she did many practices as far as like witchcraft, and that is mostly what she stuck to, was witchcraft. I'm going to show you guys one of the things that she posted here. Hold on. Hi, Mama of Six. Good to see you, sweetie. Okay, so this was a tweet of Kate Reston, and it says, "Let people live and have their own religion. If someone is into something different, accept that. Stop saying, no, you come from God. I'm Wiccan and I will always be, so shut the F up and let me be." This is obviously a voodoo doll. So I don't know for sure. You guys can tell me down in the comments, is Wiccan the same thing as a witch? Anybody who knows, please let me know, because that's one thing I did not research, so I don't know for sure, but I would think that it is. Or I can look it up if nobody knows. Okay, hold on, let me go back here. And I'm going to pull up another picture. Is it the same thing? Okay, thank you, Felony Melanie. What did you say? It's a beautiful religion. Wiccan is. Hold on one second. I'm going to bring up another picture. Okay, so before I bring up the picture, so Kate attached 3 photographs to that tweet. And in the photographs, it appeared to be obviously a doll baby. Doll babies are commonly used in practices like hoodoo, also known as conjure or root work. And Reston's, she looked as it included a personal concern, hair obtained from the presumptive target of the activity. So let's just get deep into it. Kate had a girlfriend and I'm not sure how long she was with this girlfriend. I don't think it was for a very long time, but regardless, she had a girlfriend and it didn't work out. Probably for whatever reasonings. And that girl ended up breaking up with her. And once that girl broke up with Kate, her whole personality, everything about her changed. And she was very hurt by this specific young lady that she was with. Kate was a lesbian, and I'm pretty sure that they were together for obviously a good amount of time. However, I think the short amount of time that they were together is why people were so surprised at the way that she was acting. And she just started doing different things, and she practiced witchcraft, Wiccan. And then somewhere along the line, because she was just so very hurt by this ex-girlfriend, her whole main objective was to seek revenge on this ex-girlfriend because she was very hurt by her, okay? And because of that, she definitely started with African spirituality, okay? And the reason why, I don't know what her reasoning is as to why she chose to be with more African spirituality, but I feel like the reason why she did is because she wanted to seek revenge on her ex-girlfriend, okay? So let me continue here. Let me continue reading this. Hold on. I lost my place. Okay. So once she started kind of dabbling into African spirituality, there's somebody that she was trying to conjure, or how would I put that? What's the word I'm using? Conjure. And his name was Papa Legba. Okay. Now, if you guys watched American Horror Story, I'm going to show you guys in a minute who Papa Legba is. Papa Legba is not anything to mess around with. Okay? He's just not. And for some people, they know, if you watched American Horror Story and you watched The Coven, and that was the series obviously about witches, Papa Legba is in that series. And I feel like he's misinterpreted in a lot of ways, because a lot of people think that when it comes to conjuring different deities and all of those things, that you use certain deities to obviously get what you want, and you obviously have to offer something. If you remember in American Horror Story, and I will show you guys in a minute, in American Horror Story, Papa Legba is the person that appeared, and he was the tall guy. He's obviously black. He had dreads. And if you notice in that particular, when he first appeared in the coven, the person who conjured him basically was sacrificing a baby. Okay. So I think even the American Horror Story got it all wrong with Papa Legba. That's not the way that it works. And I'm going to pull it up right now, because I think these kinds of things are very interesting. And a lot of people, they just misinterpret things, and they just don't understand. What is this? Anyway, they just don't understand why things happen the way that they do. And people already want to conjure up different spirits and things like that for their, for the wrong reasons and for evil intent. Okay. So Papa Legba is in the Haitian voodoo. Now, it's even hard to break this down, as far as there are different types of voodoo as well, you guys. There's not just one. And he serves as in almost in between, which is the spirit world and obviously humanity. He stands at a spiritual crossroads and gives or denies permission to speak with the spirits of Geni, and is believed to speak all human languages. In Haiti, he is the great elocutioner. I'm probably saying that wrong. Elocutioner. Legba facilitates communication, speech, and understanding. He is commonly associated with dogs. Papa Legba is invoked. That's the word I'm looking for. Conjure, invoked. Okay. He is invoked at the beginning of every ceremony. Papa Legba has his origins in the historic West African kingdom of Dahomey, located within present-day Benin. Okay. He usually appears as an old man on a crutch or with a cane, wearing a broad-brimmed straw hat and smoking a pipe, or drinking dark rum. The dog is sacred to him. Legba, he looks at the dog as something of, I don't know. a guide. He basically, Legba is the favorite of children due to his jolly grandpa-like image. He is often tasked or fast, whatever, with babysitting and distracting children, a typical male role in religion, while more serious rituals are being performed by adults. Okay. Now, in popular culture, and his study basically discusses the appearance of Legba in blues lyrics and lore. Palmer notes that Legba can be referred to or identified as the devil, Papa Legba, and the black man throughout the history of the blues. This is also made clear in Bruno Bloom's text for the CD box set Voodoo in America, where a reference to Papa Legba, deity of roads and crossroads, and Robert Johnson's iconic song Crossroads is explained. I don't know if you guys know who Robert Johnson is, but Robert Johnson is the person who never knew how to play an instrument, never knew anything about an instrument, and he's the one who started it all when it comes to the blues. He went to the crossroads and made a deal with Papa Legba. And then all of a sudden, he literally became a star. However, when you do a deal, you're going to have to pay up eventually. And he ultimately passed because he was poisoned. So everyone has their own idea of who Papa Legba is. I don't consider him as being the devil. Some people may consider him as that. I don't agree with that. I think voodoo, different spirits, and I think it's with every single thing that you practice that's not considered as religious, can be, especially African spirituality has definitely been demonized and made to look like it's evil and it's bad, but I don't necessarily agree with that. So Papa Legba can be different things to different people. It just depends. Freaky story, you guys. Okay, so there is an extensive referencing to voodoo in the Sprawl trilogy. And I don't know if you guys ever seen that. It's in a book. A 1985 episode of the TV series Miami Vice, season 2, episode 8, Tale of the Goat, centers a voodoo priest by the name of Papa Legba, played by Clarence Williams, in a keeping with the image of Legba, often conceptualized in Haitian voodoo subculture. Papa Legba is depicted as a controlling, pretty much the gateway to the spiritual world through the use of drugs, walking with the aid of crutches. Now, that's where I go to talk about how African spirituality has definitely been demonized in a lot of ways. The musical group, no, I don't need to read that. Papa Legba is a recurring character in American Horror Story, appearing in the 3rd and 8th season as the gatekeeper of the afterlife. He is an acquaintance of Marie, having granted her mortality in exchange for the offering of one innocent baby every year. Papa Legba's portrayal in the show has attracted some criticism, with many noting that the portrayal of Papa Legba was more similar to Baron than the mythical Papa Legba himself. And Baron is a different deity. He's completely different than Papa Legba. Now, I don't know everything about every deity. I'm not going to talk about that. But is this something to... No, it's not. Has nothing to do with the Illuminati. If you are anywhere, if you've ever watched American Horror Story, if you practice different spiritualities, whatever it is, Wiccan, African spirituality, and that's more what Papa Legba is. He's like a deity in African spirituality. So, but I'm going to pull up a picture of him. And I'll show you guys what he looked like first in American Horror Story. So this is what he looked like in American Horror Story. If you guys can see that. Why didn't that pull up? For goodness sakes. My bad. I don't know why that did that. Let me share my screen again and see if it works this time. Screen sharing was canceled. Okay. Okay, so that's Papa Legba, and this is what he looked like in the American Horror Story. So, and then I'm going to show you guys a painting of him. And this painting, I would say, I don't know. I think it looks more like him. American Horror Story kind of, I don't know. I don't like the way they did it. Southern Voodoo. Yes, absolutely. It's actually very, very sad. Hold on, let me pull up this image. I don't know which one. And even when you type in his name, you'll see Kate Reston's picture and mixed with, I'll show you guys. So when I typed in his name, there's so many visuals of what people, you know, say that Papa Legba looks like. But if you look, there's Kate Reston right there mixed in with his pictures when you Google him. So she's definitely, you know, a little bit of a part of her legacy is tied to him, and you guys will find out why. So I would say, I don't know. I'll just pull up this picture. This picture right here is more of what he looks like. This picture here, right there. Because he's always going to have a cigar in his hand. So, hold on. That's more of a look of what he looks like, I feel like. Most people, when they summons him, whatever you want to call it, they have to give him some kind of offering. And that offering can be a cigar, it could be whiskey, anything like that. So that's more of a better depiction of him, I think, of what he looks like. And I don't like technically how he has been demonized, because that doesn't, I don't know. It's just, I didn't like American Horror Story's whole, you know, story when it came to him anyway. I didn't like it at all. So, but anyway, just wanted to show you guys the picture of him and get more of a visual of what he looks like. Okay. So there is this whole stereotype, not even stereotype. People who dabble with spirituality, whatever it is that they choose, with Kate Reston, because like I told you guys, she and her ex-girlfriend broke up. I think he's an older guy, Pussycat. They broke up, and she definitely was seeking out revenge on her. And a lot of people think that when you want to seek out revenge, you can conjure Papa Legba. So let me finish telling you guys the rest of this story. Okay. So eventually, when it came to Kate Reston, she started getting more, like I told you, after her and her ex-girlfriend broke up, she started getting more troubled and she started making a lot more tweets. Now, we already know that she Wiccan, that she was a witch or whatever you want to call it. I probably prefer to say Wiccan. We already know she practiced Wiccan, but then she started dabbling into African spirituality. And I'm going to show you guys a tweet that she put up here on Twitter. Obviously, it's a tweet. And because she started dabbling in African spirituality, this is a tweet that she had put. And she said, I seen Papa Legba today and I'm scared. Okay, so this was April 17th. Because she started wanting to get revenge on her ex-girlfriend. This is the only reason why she started. What is the word I'm looking for? It's not conjure. It's not conjure. It is conjure, but it's not. Summons. Is that what I'm looking for? I can't remember what the damn word is. Hold on. Scary, you guys. And I don't know what invoke the spirit. Is that what it's called? Invoke. But regardless, she started summon. Okay, summon. Thank you. But she started wanting to summon Papa Legba because she wanted to seek revenge on her ex-girlfriend because she was very, very hurt by her ex-girlfriend. But she was warned. Kate was warned. So many people on Twitter were telling her, please stop messing with this. Okay. You're a Wiccan, fine. But that's not what these deities, when it comes to African spirituality, that's not what you summons them for. You summons them to even pussycat manifest. You summons them to do good things. You don't just summon a spirit or a deity. You don't just summon a deity just because you want to seek revenge. And people were warning her that this was very, very dangerous. Like, you don't play around when it comes to these types of things. Now, like I said, when it comes to American Horror Story and their whole vision of how they looked at Papa Legba, I didn't necessarily agree with, because I don't think, like, in African spirituality, there is someone that you guys may know because of Beyonce, and it is an African deity, and her name is Oshun. Okay. And Oshun is the deity of beauty and money, manifesting money. She is the deity of sexuality. Okay. And a lot of people look at Beyonce as Oshun. Oshun always wears yellow. If there's something that you want from Oshun, one of the offerings for Oshun is she likes honey. She likes sweet things. She likes gold. Okay. So you go ahead, you kind of set up an altar and you offer these things. And then Oshun will make these things happen for you, where you'll get more money in your life and more beauty and more sexuality and, the essence of being attractive, all of those things. And it's things like that. You don't summons a deity because you want to get revenge on someone. It's just not something that you would do. And I think that's where it comes along, where kind of in America, African spirituality has kind of been demonized, not even kind of, a lot, and makes people think that, oh, you are summons a deity like Oshun, you're evil, you're this, you're that. And that's not necessarily the case. And that's with anything that you practice. I'm sure anyone who practices Wiccan You don't use it for evil. You don't use it to get back at people. Some people may, but that's not what you're supposed to do, because everyone knows, if you watch the fucking Craft, everyone knows it's going to come back to you times 4. You shouldn't be going around wishing and pretty much summoning all these, deities to seek harm on someone. That's not the way it works. So she was warned. Let's put it this way. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something that a commenter said. Okay, so one commenter said that they had done a psychic reading for Restin at some point in the days prior to her death. That user said that they asked Papa Legba about visiting Restin and received an answer that Restin is in fact encountered Baron, not even Papa Legba. Okay, but that comes after. And a lot of people on her, when she said that she saw Papa Legba, a lot of people were commenting saying things like, no, don't do this. They were warning her, this is not the way to do it. And she replied to the trolls on one of her posts and said, I never hold on, is that it? No, that's not it. But basically she replied to the trolls and said, and they're not trolls. These were people who were trying to warn her, people who are familiar with African spirituality that were trying to tell her, don't do this. And she basically told them to fuck off, okay? In so many words. Nevertheless, Restin rapidly became the subject of rumors. She tried to summon or track Papa Legba, an act which led to her subsequent sudden death. Some shares of the post archived typically drew conclusions or read between the lines to conclude Restin's death was caused by her untrained dabbing in complex traditions. Okay, so the quoted post, hold on. She invoked a deity, and I believed it was Papa Legba. Papa Legba stands at a spiritual crossroads and gives or denies permission to speak with spirits, but instead she spoke with Baron. From reading in which Terrell, the original post, gave her. And Baron is a completely different deity that does something completely different than Papa Legba, but she didn't know what she was doing. Basically, trying to see all of this for trying to seek revenge on somebody. And people don't understand that you cannot play when it comes to voodoo, any of those things. And I don't care if you're a believer or not. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this is undeniable. So what happened? Hold on, let me pull this up. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper into this story. So Kate, like I told you, she had an ex-girlfriend, and this ex-girlfriend, they parted ways. Obviously, she broke up with her. Kate didn't like it. She wanted to seek revenge. She summoned Papa Legba, and Papa Legba is a part of African spirituality. Okay, but here's the thing. Her ex-girlfriend was Black. Okay, so if you know anything about African spirituality, it is something that has been practiced, obviously, since all the way when Black people, African Americans, were slaves. And a lot of African Americans relied on African spirituality. So basically, think about how contradictory that is. I know I'm not saying that right. Think about what a huge contradiction that is. You are using African spirituality to seek revenge on your Black ex-girlfriend. Okay. So that is why she had so many people in her comment section saying, you can't do this. Like, it all starts from your ancestors. Okay. And the ancestors is part, obviously, of African spirituality. So you are basically using African spirituality to seek revenge on your Black ex-girlfriend. So her ancestors is a part of that. And you're using her ancestors to seek revenge on her. So that is the big catch with this. I wouldn't want to open any kind of door, even messing around with little things, much less summoning, I can never say that right, a spirit to do my bidding. Absolutely. I know, Tia. May I talk about it? I meant, like, I think she still works with her old loyal customers. When she takes trips alone randomly, she was not acting. Tomorrow, Tia. Yes, we can definitely talk about that. Using spirit for gain is bringing the spiritual world into human problems. Her lessons were earth lessons, and she didn't use them for spiritual growth, rather used for spite and backfired. Exactly. And especially, I wonder why she chose to go the African route. Because in a lot of ways, people do know that when it comes to African spirituality and, voodoo and things like that, it may have been something that her girlfriend practiced, and she's seen that and it worked for her girlfriend. It could have been anything that she may have heard, but you're using, African spirituality to seek revenge on your African American ex-girlfriend. And that is something that can really backfire on you in so many ways. So one person says, I have no idea why anyone would be motivated to connect to spirit that is a part of someone's ancestry, but wanted to see if this is something practiced by others. She claims to have made contact with Papa Legba, but apparently the contact was made with an entity named Baron. She also apparently tried to hex her ex-girlfriend using a doll, which was posted in a tweet. So that doll that you guys seen was technically her ex-girlfriend. Okay, so that shows you where this girl was at, and obviously how hurt she was that she lost her girlfriend. And maybe she needed to be in some kind, maybe counseling or something like that, because it's obviously something that she just couldn't get over. Considering Papa Legba was featured in the storyline American Horror Stories Coven season, makes me realize how problematic glamorizing, sensationalizing Wiccan systems can be. I hope this made an example of the consequences of connecting with forces in vain. My knowledge of Wicca is very limited, but was especially hoping anyone here had any insight from the perspective of a Haitian practitioner. Apologies for any generalizations, and I apologize for that too, or lacking of proper terminology, because I'm not good with the proper terminology either. But at the end of the day, that's, I think, was probably one of the most ironic things about it. No, that's okay. You're good, sweetie. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. But that is why I feel like American Horror Story, people think that they got it all wrong, in my opinion. And when they do these types of things, all it does is make it to where, how do I put it? It glamorizes everything, and it just makes people want to do those types of things where you want to seek revenge and use African spirituality, the deities, to take out your ex-girlfriend. And it's absolutely ridiculous, because that's not what it's technically about, which is why I say that it's demonized in a lot of ways. So hold on, let me pull up this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to bring up here. And I feel like this is actually to one of my favorite creators, and I like her perspective on it, because I don't want to be disrespectful when it comes to African spirituality, because I don't know everything about it, and I don't want to be disrespectful when it comes to Wiccan either, because I don't really know anything about that either. So I do apologize to anyone if I'm quoting things wrong and all of that stuff. I apologize because I don't want to offend anybody. But this is, hold on, let me bring this up. And
hunger robs children of their childhood. 1 in 5 children worldwide.
What is up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your
This is Brittany Vaughn. I mention her a lot. She's the one who brought this story to my attention. She's absolutely amazing. And she's like Bailey Sarian. She does makeup. And I feel like she was so respectful about Wiccans and African spirituality. And I think she can explain it in a better way than I can, because I don't know much about it. But I do want to learn more, because I do feel like I do want to get more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you who are more spiritual, you can email me anytime. But I just think that she explains it so beautifully. Maybe she practices African spirituality. I'm not sure. I've only heard of women Wiccans too. Oh, there's definitely men who practice Wiccan for sure. So let me.
My niece, Violet, on Friday evening. And Violet was perfect pack with residents, right? And I'm sure you probably can tell where I'm going with that. So we have a good old time quarantining people. Is the belief that yes, there is a, but really is about, and you may be a little disappointed to find that the truth about him is not as dark and suit, smoking a pipe. Oftentimes, Legba is one of the most popular deities in Voodoo. And he's actually probably the most interesting one to me. And so when I saw this comment, I was extremely excited to go ahead and make a video about it. I was also really excited to see him as a character being portrayed in American Horror Story Coven, until I saw how inaccurately they portrayed him. But that's Hollywood and TV for you, right? Papa Leg.
Listen closely to what she's saying, because she describes it beautifully. She's very respectful, and that is the perfect word for what American Horror Story did. They literally made Papa Legba look like he's the devil, he's evil, and that's not necessarily the case. Deities mean different things to different people, and no matter whatever it is that you practice, if you're doing it for evil or to seek revenge, it is always going to come back on you. Always.
Is most commonly depicted as a tall black man wearing white face paint, a hat, dressed in like this worn, tattered suit, smoking a pipe, oftentimes accompanied by a dog like this. I'll insert a picture of what he typically is portrayed as in the media. Now, in American Horror Story, he was depicted as a devilish, creepy, and demonic spirit or entity that demanded the souls of babies in return for a favor that only a supreme being could fulfill. And I hate to break it to you, but that is not really who he is. However, it is kind of how he works, minus the requirement to, pay with the baby soul. So let's dive into what Papa Legba really is about. And you may be a little disappointed to find that the truth about him is not as dark and twisted as pop culture has made him out to be over the years. It's still a very interesting story, though. Papa Legba originated in West Africa, and his story expanded with the capturing of Africans to be used as slaves in other parts of the world. And he plays a huge and very significant part of the original practices and spiritual beliefs of those of African descent. Among those original beliefs is the belief that yes, there is a God, one true supreme being that's, overall. However, he is busy, okay? He is a very busy being, and he does not really have time to be on the prayer line girl answering your calls about having a man or revealing to you if your partner is cheating. He does not really involve himself in the everyday human affairs directly. Instead, he has these subservient spirits who are like a team with their own set of tasks and duties and powers. They're not as powerful as him. There are some parental controls, if you will, on their abilities, and they are called Loas. And among these powerful beings, of course, is Papa Legba. He is the gatekeeper and liaison between both worlds, the land of the living and the spiritual world. Now, he is one of the most powerful within the belief system that he belongs to. Only through him can people communicate with the spirit world. And he also has the gift of being able to speak any language, even the one down to the Sentinelese Island. Now, over time, he has come to be known by many different names, depending on your geographical location. In Cuba, he is referred to as Ilegua, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And in Brazil, they call him Ishu. And the reason that there are all these different names for essentially the same being is because one of the methods of suppression practiced by the European slave owners was actually separating people of the same tribe who spoke the same language and mixing groups of people who spoke different languages, of course, to create a language barrier, a communication barrier, and prevent plotting and planning against them. Kanye. And there's also the fact that enslaved people wanted to keep a lot of their spiritual practices hidden for their own safety. So they began to refer to a lot of these entities as different names or call them something else to disguise, what they were truly talking about. Now, naturally, there are some differences in how he is depicted depending on where you are and, the culture that is discussing him. But for the most part, there's a general understanding of who Papa Legba is and how he works. And we're going to get into that right now. Now, Papa Legba has extensive wisdom, like infinite wisdom. He can also help you out with anything that you want in life, whether you need clarity on a situation, talent, or pretty much just about anything, any favor that you can ask for. Or if you want to contact any of his spiritual brethren, you would also have to go through him. But Papa Legba does not work for free. He must first be summoned and honored during a ceremony. And when he shows up,
that is the way it is with all African deities, you guys. You have to summon them, you have to set up an altar, and you have to, in that altar, it's a big deal. You have to give them an offering. For Papa Legba, it would be like whiskey or a cigar, anything like that. Those are the things that you offer them. You know what I'm saying? There always has to be something that you offer them, though. They don't just come to you and do these things to you or help you and guide you in life without an offering. Okay. Oh, welcome to the Glam Fam. Arame, thank you so much. Welcome, beautiful. I appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a member. Okay, so I want you guys to really listen to this because this is important. Okay. And even if you don't practice anything at all, you don't believe in anything at all, this is very interesting because maybe you might want to practice it one day. Who knows? You never know.
if you do not have an offering, honey, he does not have the time. And he accepts offerings of all kinds. So, like I said, how he was portrayed on American Horror Story where they had to give him a baby soul, child, no. He accepts offerings of all kinds. Cane syrup, coffee, candy, produce. He'll take a little rum if you got it. Okay. The list goes on, but sacrifices of life are not something that is required or requested. It actually does not take much to appease him at all. And he is not some demonic, evil, dark spirit. However, he, like all other Loas, do require respect. They don't play by the respect part. And he must also be thanked properly for satisfying your request. You may be familiar with one of the most popular exchanges with Papa Legba among Southerners. It is the story of blues singer Robert Johnson, who, according to him, met a spirit at a crossroad and offered his soul in exchange for musical success. And of course, just as African spirituality has been twisted and demonized via racist ideology over the centuries, so has this story. And most currently, now it's being told as if he went and sold his soul to the devil for musical success. If you listen to the song Crossroads, where he talks about it, he never once says he met the devil. That was never the claim, child. That's just the story that they tell now. Now they say Lil Robert Johnson guitar skills were not worth two dead fly smash girl with the wings torn off before he had met this spirit at the crossroad, which is actually a real crossroad in Mississippi, I believe. And then he went there and he left with this musical talent that he did not have before that ultimately garnered his success. Unfortunately, he dies just 3 years later after being poisoned at a juke joint. And see, the thing is, and the question I have is, why did you jump so high with the offer, sir? Your soul, you ain't have a little mango or a shot of whiskey you could have given, Papa Legba? Why the soul? And if it's true that, you met him and offered your soul to him, he came and collected early, you should have been more specific that you wanted to give up the soul when you was done with it. Because he didn't circle the block and came back to collect just 3 years later. Child, I wouldn't even give him Blue or Bella, let alone my precious little soul. Especially since it's not required, girl. But to each his own. I'm not here to judge. Now, another very popular alleged interaction with Papa Legba is the very recent and unfortunate passing of 19-year-old Kate Reston of Virginia. Now, Caitlin had reportedly begun practicing Haitian voodoo spells and had joined several groups on social media that shared spells and talked about the things that they were doing and different rituals and practices. And just a few days before her death, she had actually posed a question within one of the groups asking if she should hex her ex-girlfriend after their breakup. And then on March 29th of 2020, she posted to her Twitter account herself casting a spell and setting a puppet on fire. Now, a puppet is a doll used in many spiritualities to represent a person that you are typically trying to cast a spell upon. And it's most commonly referred to as a voodoo doll. I'm pretty sure we've all heard of or seen people putting pins in those little dolls and, ripping their little hair out with the hopes of the person it represents feeling the effects wherever they are in the world. Now, the puppet that she had in these Twitter posts, it had pins in it, child, needles stuck all in it. And the people on Twitter went nuts. So many people responded to this and told her that she really should just leave it alone. Many of them respond warning her of the dangers of playing with magic spells and African spirituality. And a lot of them honestly were upset at the fact that she is clearly and obviously a Caucasian woman and her ex-girlfriend is an African American woman. So a lot of them responded telling her it was completely asinine for her to be sitting here and trying to use African spirituality and magic against this African American woman as a white woman. It was like, girl, what are you doing here? This looks crazy. Be careful. However, she responds to them saying that, she has the right to practice whatever she wants to practice, okay? That these were her chosen spiritual practices that should be respected like anyone else's when it comes to their religion. So, respect her and her.
Hey, not another housewife. It's good to see you. So hopefully you guys are following along with this. I feel like she explains it beautifully because I think she may practice African spirituality because she knows a lot about it. And I love the fact that she's very thorough with this, especially when it comes to the way that African spirituality has been demonized. And part of why it has been demonized is to make it seem like, it's evil and, don't mess around with it. And the Black people who choose to practice it, they're evil. And that's not always the case. It may be the case for some, but for the majority, it's actually not. It's very simple to offer, like I told you about the African deity Oshun. It's very simple to, not simple, but to set up an altar and make offerings to the things that they like and like she said, Papa Legba can do whatever for you. Whatever it is that you want, he can do that for you. But the point is that because things like American Horror Story, and because African spirituality has been so demonized, you have people who are using it to seek revenge. And that is what Kate Reston was doing. She was trying to seek revenge, but it is actually very idiotic to use African spirituality on your ex-girlfriend who is African American. You know what I'm saying? Like that is made for a disaster, and that's what people were trying to warn her of. But I do like how thorough she is. I'll put her channel in the description. She is absolutely amazing. I love her. Absolutely beautiful. And I think this is one of my favorite stories that she's told because she's so in depth, and I learned a lot just from watching this.
Her choices. She felt like no one had the right to tell her that because she's white, she cannot. And she was a self-proclaimed Wiccan. And while witches do practice like spells and witchcraft, it is not the same as voodoo. It's a lot of similarities, but they are not synonymous.
And that's another thing too. It's not as if, I'm sure that there are people of all different races that practice African spirituality. And remember, in each country, it means something different. Obviously, in like, what does it mean? Oh my gosh. You guys can put it in the comments below. But in Mexico, it's something else, Santeria, something like that. But it's almost literally the same idea, you guys. And then you have African spirituality, Santeria, and then it's, in each country is something different. However, anybody can practice it. It's not as if people were telling her, don't practice African spirituality because you're white. People were telling her, don't use African spirituality against someone who is African American. You know what I'm saying? That's what people were trying to tell her. And I wish she would have listened. Okay.
This is another thing that made a lot of people think or feel like she really had no clue what she was really getting herself into or playing with, because she claimed to be Wiccan, but she was practicing Haitian voodoo as well. So for this, she also receives a lot of backlash. Yet again, people are really bothered by her post, some accusing her of making a mockery of people's sacred practices, while others warn her yet again that she is certainly playing with fire. So her being Wiccan and trying to summon Papa Legba, to me sounds like being a Christian girl and trying to get Voodoo on the main line for a favor. Because this was not that long ago, you can actually Google her name and find all of like the Twitter threads. Nobody ever deleted her account, so everything is still there. And it is some of the last posts that were made to her account. 3 weeks after she posted herself and the puppet on her Twitter account, she decides to summon Papa Legba. On April 17th of 2020, she performs a ceremony and summons him to her home. Now, what she wanted from him is unclear. But afterwards, she posted to her Facebook page, "I seen Papa Legba today, and I'm scared." A lot of people believe that it was still centered around the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, because she was very obsessive over this girl. She was very upset with her. And during this time, a lot of her posts were centered around the girlfriend. So it is widely speculated and assumed that whatever she was calling on him for that day had something to do with her getting back at this ex-girlfriend, since all of her other spells, magic, rituals have been centered around that. Now, just 2 days after she made the post saying that she had seen him and she was afraid, she passes away unexpectedly in her mother's home, according to her obituary. Which this is actually very sad because at the time she had a 5-month-old daughter. I couldn't find any solid evidence of her official cause of death. And to my knowledge, her family has not made that public information. But it is most commonly reported that she was found inside the bathroom of her mother's home, face down, in a tub of water. Now, of course, the internet can be a very unforgiving place. So when this news circulated, people wasted no time expressing their feelings and thoughts and opinions on Caitlin's death. Many people felt like Caitlin's bad intentions for her ex actually just backfired on her. And other people believe that this was just a prime example of what she was warned about, that these practices can be very, very dangerous. And you can really get hurt if you are unknowledgeable about what it is you're doing and these entities that you are seeking. Y'all know Twitter is ruthless, child. They showed absolutely no mercy whatsoever. It was also widely speculated amongst the voodoo practicing community. It was widely speculated that it was not Papa Legba that she had seen at all, and that it was actually an entity by the name of Baron Samedi, who is the Loa of the dead. Just like Papa Legba, Baron is oftentimes, well, all the time portrayed as a dark, demonic entity, mainly due to society's fear and misunderstanding of voodoo. He is also physically portrayed almost identically to the media's portrayal of Papa Legba. I'll insert a picture, but if you Google either of their names, a lot of the same images pop up, honestly. It's a black, tall, thin guy with white face paint. Baron oftentimes has the face of a skeleton, like painted on his face. They are kind of similar because you have to summon them both and you can ask them for a favor and they have the option to deliver what you want. So if it's true that she did not have a real understanding of what she was dealing with, it's very possible and likely that one could have shown up and she got them confused. Baron Samedi is called upon for healing by those near death. That's his ministry. He has the power, no matter how sick you are, even if it is due to like a hex or black magic, performed by one of his brethren. He has the power to reverse it and decide that it is not your time yet, despite what's going on, child, despite the injury or illness. He is said to be able to cure mortals from anything as long as he thinks it's worthwhile. If you call him and he shows up, he don't feel like it's worthwhile, girl. He just goes ahead and ushers you right on out of the land of the living. Whereas that is not really Papa Legba's ministry, child. He's trying to help you while you're still here. And of course, this could be a very scary encounter with anyone, child. I know I'd definitely be a little bit intimidated and afraid if I knew that I can call on him and he can just have me go right along with him if he saw fit. And so a lot of people in the community felt like for that reason as well, it was more likely that she saw Baron Samedi instead of Papa Legba because she described it as a very scary experience. She probably dialed the wrong number. Baron Samedi picked up, girl, saw what was going on, and decided to just go ahead and interfere and get her out of here. I don't know. I do, however, want to know what you guys think about all of this. Like, let me know. I think this case is one of the ones where I felt the most pressure to like double, triple, quadruple, whatever the 5 is, fact check, because anytime I'm dealing with like spirituality or anybody's spiritual beliefs or religion, like I really, really, really feel pressured to
Eyelashes are easy to put on. I'll show you. I do have an eyelash tutorial, but I'll show you guys again. It's really easy, but she did an amazing job. I could not have done it that good because, like I said, I do think that she practices some type of, I think she practices African spirituality because she knows so much about it, far beyond research. But I think she explained this beautifully. And that's one of the reasons why I had to pull her up, because I remember distinctly she explained it so well and so respectful that I'm like, let me bring her up again, because I don't want to offend anybody and I don't want to say the wrong thing, because people do tend to get very offended. It's happened to me so many times. People do tend to get very offended when you say something wrong about African spirituality and Wiccan and all of those things. And I don't know much about it yet. And no matter how much research I do, it would still take me weeks and weeks to get it right. Let's just put it that way. So she did an amazing job. So they found her in the bathtub, which was very ironic to me. And this was a couple days after she made the tweet that I showed you guys where she said, I saw Papa Legba and I'm scared. Okay. There are, even though her parents have never really told how she passed away, one of the rumors is that she had a panic attack. Okay. Now, it would have to be a really bad panic attack to pass away from that, right? But I do find it very ironic that she was in a bathtub. And the fact that what is it about this whole situation, I think that is very, very scary, is that not even 2 days after seeing him, she passed away. Now, as you heard Brittany say, that there is a possibility that she's seen Baron. And Baron is completely different than Papa Legba. Okay? Baron is the person who can literally heal you if you have cancer, anything like that, any type of disease, all of those things. So if you were to put it into a scenario, it does make more sense that she would see Baron, because you really do, like Brittany said, you really do have to make it worth Baron's while. And if she was to summons Baron, accidentally though, you know what I'm saying? But summons, who knows what her whole motive was or what she was trying to do to her ex-girlfriend. Who knows what she was asking to be done to her. And the fact that she probably summons the wrong deity makes sense that it would be Baron, because if she was to summons Baron before him and say, I want for this to happen to my ex-girlfriend, with knowing Baron is already going to know that her ex-girlfriend is African American, well, that's not going to be worth his while, is it? Especially that she's doing that to his own. So that would make sense. Now, of course, there's a lot of people that say, no, it's just a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. That is too coincidental. There is no way in hell that all of a sudden you start practicing African spirituality, okay, and you don't know what you're doing. You're only practicing it for one reason and one reason only, not because you're interested in it. You might be interested in being a Wiccan, but you're practicing Haitian voodoo, which is different. There's all different kinds of voodoo, hoodoo, you guys. It's so many different aspects of it, right? So you start practicing Haitian voodoo only for the reason to seek revenge on your ex-girlfriend. Okay? Not because you want to better your life or cure a disease or anything like that, but because you want to specifically seek revenge on your ex-girlfriend, because obviously you may have been really hurt by her. You had a hard time moving on. So the possibilities of that just being coincidental is very slim to none for me. Especially the fact, and it's so weird, you guys, especially the fact that she was in a bathtub. Because if you remember in American Horror Story, and you may not have seen American Horror Story, right? So I'll tell you like you haven't seen it. In American Horror Story, when Papa Legba appears, they're all in the bathroom. And then obviously the two witches are in the bathtub. Well, technically she did something to another witch in the bathtub. It just is one of the most creepiest stories I've ever heard, because you really never hear stories about somebody losing their life in that way. And to be honest with you, we'll never know. But the fact that she was using, voodoo and trying to seek revenge, African spirituality on her ex-African American girlfriend, I can't believe that she definitely wasn't thinking. I think her mind was clouded by seeking revenge. And that's what people do. People, they get hurt, they want to seek revenge. And I think that she just summoned the wrong person, the wrong deity, and she paid for it. I don't exactly like think about all the celebrities. Every celebrity, you guys. Think about how many videos of celebrities have been in the bathtub. Think about a lot of celebrities who have passed away in the bathtub or found in the bathtub or in the bathroom. It's one of those stories that give you goosebumps because of the way she passed, because it was 2 days after she said that she's seen Papa Legba. Of course you're going to be scared because this is nothing to play around with. I feel like that is such a huge lesson for anybody. And that is what so many people were trying to tell her. You can't play around with this. You cannot just use it when it's convenient for you. You can't use it to seek revenge on someone. Yep. Aesop, yep. You're absolutely right. And Marie LeVay, I heard about her. I probably will do her very soon too. I did hear about her. That's it. I'm currently renovating my bathroom and I'm not going to put a bath back in. Yep. Elvis. It's crazy, you guys. And all I'm saying is these coincidences, you guys have to start maybe sometimes thinking beyond that and understanding that all of these things that happen right in front of you, it's happening in plain sight, you guys. And I don't believe in every conspiracy theory, no. But I do believe in, I am a conspiracy theorist, and I do look at things critically. However, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. I think it is yes, there's coincidences sometimes, but I think when things are so blatantly obvious and people just want to be dismissive by saying it's a coincidence, they don't want to face it. They don't want to say, wait a minute, something ain't right about this, And some people don't believe in spirituality, religion, some people are just atheists and they don't believe in anything, and that's fine. But at some point, you have to stand back and say, this is so freaking crazy. Oh, I love bathtubs. And no, I don't think that should stop you from taking baths and bubble baths and stuff like that, But I do think it's important for people the biggest lesson in this is you have to be careful, just like someone just said just now, voodoo is different. It's a little bit different, not too much, but they're not synonymous with each other. But voodoo, I feel like, is a whole new different thing. It really is. And it can be dangerous, okay, if you don't know what you're doing. And she had no idea what she was doing. All she knew, to me, in my opinion, is that she was seeking revenge on her ex-girlfriend. It's not okay to post a picture of a doll with pins in it and reference that to your ex. So obviously she was really, really hurt by her ex. Okay, I get it. And maybe she needed some counseling or something like that. And she looked and turned to Haitian voodoo, African spirituality to get her through it, but that's not what she was doing. I could see if she was calling upon Papa Legba and summoning Papa Legba because she wanted the healing power to get over her ex-girlfriend. Now that's different. But she was so mad and hurt by her ex-girlfriend that she was seeking revenge. And she summons him, she sees him, then she's scared, and then 2 days later, she's gone. Okay, if you want to be dismissive towards it and say it's a coincidence and, that's fine. But I don't believe in those things. I don't believe that when things are blatantly in front of your face, you have to accept what it is. and not make excuses for it and not say, well, that's just a coincidence. She probably had something wrong with her. The girl was 19 years old and healthy. Okay. I'm not sure if her ex has ever spoken out. I think somewhere that they did say that she had spoken out, but I'm not 100% sure. But let's listen to what else Brittany has to say. But like I said, she explains it beautifully. So props to her, because like I said, it would have taken me weeks to be able to try to find the right words. Like, here I am, like sitting here like, oh, wait, should I say this? Should I say? Because I don't want to offend people. I've been there before, and it's not that I care what people say, blah 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 blah, but I do care about people and what they practice, and I want to be respectful towards that. So I think she did an amazing job at it.
To get it right. Because, y'all, when you're relying on the internet to get all your little facts, sometimes, these different sources have different information and none of them will be exactly the same. And so you really have to just try your best to figure out which source is the most credible, girl, and just hope and pray you got it right. A lot of pressure comes with that. And yes, I'm still a blush girl. Yes, ma'am. Miss Blush, I've been loving it here. I have been trying to film some TikToks. I'm about to try to film a TikTok when I finish this. I be feeling like Auntie a little old for the TikTok, okay? Auntie don't really know much about the TikTok. I tried to get Violet to teach me how to make one, and girl, she was so over me after like 2 tries, 2 attempts. Like, why are kids so impatient? Oh, let me also acknowledge the fact that we definitely hit 200K. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. I actually was very busy in Memphis for a baby shower for my nephew, and I didn't even realize until somebody wrote me on Instagram, was like, girl, congratulations, we got there. And I'm like, oh my God, we really did. We did it. I love y'all so much. Oh yeah, I don't know how I forgot this part. Let me circle back to the COVID thing. So I mentioned that Violet spent a day in very embarrassed. I don't know why, girl. I don't know why, but it was. Anyway, among those people was, of course, Violet, because I guess what missed the rest of the school year for this girl. She told them to get tested, and also me and Violet just swimming through. Okay, no.
She does bloopers at the end, but congratulations to her for 200K. Yay. But I think ultimately, one of the biggest things that people need to always keep. Hey, Save Robbie. I haven't seen you in forever. I think one of the biggest things that people need to keep in mind when it comes to voodoo is you just have to be careful. I don't even know what she was thinking of, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything and say, oh, I don't believe that was a coincidence. And people can believe whatever they want to believe. You guys can let me know in the comments what you believe. But I believe that she summoned the wrong person, the wrong deity. And when she summoned that deity, she was in for an awakening. And unfortunately, what she had to offer wasn't good enough. I don't think it was. And hold on, because I haven't seen. Hold on, my bad. Okay. Anyway, so that's really all I can say. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I certainly think that that's a very, very sad story. She had a 5-month-old little baby and she's gone. You have to be careful. Do not play with voodoo, you guys. Do not play with those types of things. If you want to practice it, it's not dangerous. It's only dangerous if you're using it for the wrong reasons. It's only dangerous when you don't know what the hell you're doing. You can open doors to evil, in my humble opinion. Everything happens for a reason. We may not know the reason, but there is one, whether we agree with the reason or not. I agree with that. I agree with that. No, you don't rarely chat. I'm glad that you did say something, though. This is a very, very... It just was one of those stories that gave me goosebumps, because there are so many, like in African spirituality, there's a deity named Yemaya. And Yemaya is a deity that you may connect with more than Oshun. There are so many deities that you can connect with. And it's more or less who you are as a person and what it is that you're looking for. So, Sage or Saj, how do you say it? Sage, Saj. I have that. I do have that. I definitely, am religious, but I definitely also have been looking into spirituality as well. And I'm at that where, I don't know whether I connect more with Oshun or Yemaya. I'm not sure, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in. And that's why I've become a lot more open-minded, because you definitely can believe in both. You can be very spiritual and you can also be very religious. You can be both. Some people don't think you can be both, but you can. You can. Darkness attracts darkness and light attracts light. That's true. And if you're somebody, a girl went to a witch and they put a hex on her boyfriend. He died of a broken leg. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Like, if you guys have ever, like, I don't know, how do I explain this? If you guys have ever wanted to look at things from a different aspect and you want to be more spiritual, I think it is very much believed that you cannot practice both, that you cannot believe in both. And I have come to a place where I don't believe that. And I've done so much research on it. And there are so many times where I have said offensive things, I'm not going to lie, to people who practice Wiccan, to people who practice Voodoo. I have said some offensive things because we have all been programmed to believe that it's evil. And here's something that I have learned, and it's something that I've learned even from a spiritual aspect, you guys, which is darkness obviously can't exist without light, and light can't exist without darkness. And one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people practice when it comes to even the universe, one of my fiance's friends is a Satanist, so he practiced Satanism. I knew a few people that I'm cool with, who practices Satanism, and they believe that good would not exist without evil. And evil would not exist without good. So in a lot of ways, as far as when I interviewed him a little bit when it came to Satanism, he said in a lot of ways they embrace both evil and good and evil, yin and yang. So there's some things I'm learning, but then there's some things I'm just like, no, I'm good. Okay. A lot of times it's about your intent behind it. It's all about intent. That's another thing I've learned too. It's all about intent. Like I said, Oshun is a person that you call upon, to be more comfortable in your sexuality, to be more sensual, to be more attractive, to have just this aura about you that attracts everyone, men, women, whatever it is that you like, money, wealth. That is what Oshun represents. And then Yemaya represents something completely different. So I forget what Yemaya. and they're all depicted as goddesses. That's what they're depicted as. But Yemaya, often depicted as a queenly mermaid. Yemaya is considered the ocean mother goddess in Santeria and Afro-Caribbean religion practiced around the world, with anchored roots in the, I always say this wrong, Yoruba religion. Yemaya was brought over to the New World by enslaved Africans as early as the 16th century. And again, hold on, okay. Yemaya also is the goddess of fertility, like fertility, and if you're looking to get pregnant, and so is Oshun too. Yemaya is said to be motherly and strongly protective, and to care deeply for all her children, comforting them and cleansing them of sorrow. She is said to be able to cure infertility in women, and shells represent wealth. She does not easily lose her temper, but when angered, she can be quite destructive and violent as the floodwaters of turbulent rivers. Yemaya is often depicted as a mermaid and is associated with the moon, water, and feminine mysteries. She is the protector of women. She governs everything pertaining to women, parenting, child safety, love, and healing. According to myth, when her waters broke, it caused a great flood, creating rivers and streams, and the first mortal humans were created from her womb. So that's who Yemaya is. That's who she represents, infertility. So if you call upon Yemaya and you have a piece like a altar and offerings, she can get you pregnant. There are stories that I've heard and testimonies where people say they've had twins. And Oshun is also the goddess of fertility too. And if nobody noticed, once Beyonce came out as wearing yellow. Oh my gosh. Okay, how do I explain this? Okay, if anybody likes Beyonce, if you remember her whole video that she did with Hold Up, and she opens the door and she's in a yellow dress and water just starts flowing out, right? That was Beyonce introducing the essence and the goddess Oshun. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but once Beyonce started representing the goddess Oshun, she got pregnant with twins. So, oh, the lovely, my bird's nuts. I was looking into different deities and somehow was drawn to Oshun. I got scared and dropped. There's nothing to be scared of, Aesop, I promise. I was drawn to Oshun too. I was very drawn to her. But I don't know. There's different deities and you have to kind of figure out which one you connect with the most. But there are many testimonies. If you want to do research on it, do research. There are many testimonies of people who have gotten pregnant. Like I said, as soon as Beyonce presented herself as Oshun, she got pregnant with twins. So I think it's definitely something that if you choose to believe, you do. If you don't, you don't. I believe in all of it. I believe in spirituality. I believe in religion. And I looked at my husband and got pregnant. Good night, Tracy. Thanks for being here, sweetie. I appreciate you. Oh, lovely. My bird is going nuts. I'm going to head out, but listens to TV. Much love. Everyone's here. Thanks so much. I love this channel. I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. So happy that you love my channel, and you're amazing, Tracy. Thank you for being here. But don't be scared, Aesop. It's very interesting. Do research on it. It's a very, very interesting thing, and it's a whole new outlook on things. And I like being open-minded and looking at different parts of spirituality. And obviously African spirituality is something that I connect with the most. It's something that has been around for a very long time, and it's something that the slaves relied on, and there's a whole story behind it, and I will definitely do a video about it because it's definitely something that was taught to be demonized, and it still is till this day. Just like how they represented Papa Legba in the American Horror Story. That is not what it is. Okay? Papa Legba is not the devil. He's not somebody that you call upon to seek revenge on somebody. He's somebody that you call upon because you want to connect with somebody from the crossroads, or connect with somebody that that has passed away or something like that. He's not what America has demonized this whole thing to be. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why people get so scared. And then you hear a story like this, and then it makes you even more scared because of, something. And may God rest her soul. I'm so sad because when I was reading up on this story, it's very, very sad. She was 19 years old, you guys, a 19-year-old young lady, a healthy young lady, and had a 5-month-old little baby girl, and she lost her life. And it's just a very sad story. And it's all because she wanted to seek revenge, and she just played with something that you just don't play with. It's not a game. And I think people do think it's a game, and it's not. If you use anything for evil, when it comes to Wiccan, African spirituality, Voodoo, it's going to come back on you. It just is. I remember, you guys, when I first watched The Craft. Anybody can remember when they first watched the damn Craft. And I used to think, whatever, like The Craft, that shit ain't real. It's nothing like the do the light as a feather, stiff as a board shit. And it's crazy how The Craft is something that has always been around. There are so many people who practice witchcraft, and obviously Wiccan or witchcraft. There's so many people who practice this way before The Craft, and then The Craft comes out, and then you have so many people like, oh my goodness, like it kind of started it all in a lot of ways. And I was one of those people that were like, this is bullshit, like this, no. But now I'm one of those people that's more open-minded, like, no, this stuff can be real. Okay, this can be real. And I think that was one of my favorite movies. The Craft was I still watch The Craft, so this very day. But now I understand it more. I know so many people, you guys, who carry crystals with them. And they charge their crystals in a full moon, and they make moon water and all this stuff. It's just a whole new world when it comes to spirituality. And you're just like, okay, what's this about? What's that about? Why do you have to charge it in the moon? How do you make moon water? Like, why do you carry a crystal on you? And there's specific kinds of crystals, and there's certain things that you only do when there's a full moon. And I'm just like, so that's why I'm so confused sometimes when it comes to it. So that's why I have to be very, very careful, even when I talk about this again, because I don't want to offend anybody. I won't even watch the movies. Your subconscious is already preyed upon with all the subliminal messaging we see in ads and movies and TV. Guard your subconscious mind. Absolutely. And one of the ways you guard it is try to avoid it. However, educate yourself, because if you know about it, you see it. It's hidden in plain sight. But if you're educated about it, it's not hidden anymore. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Blood on the moon. What's that, Foxy Bot? But yeah, there's so many things that I'm interested in learning, and I'm learning as I go. And I'm really happy that I am more open-minded when it comes to these things. One of the actresses was Wiccan. Oh, really? In The Craft? I didn't know that. Didn't know that. I love crystals. Yeah, it's crazy. I know so many people that carry crystals. It's like when Beyonce came out with one of her songs and she said she charges her crystals and she said something like, I charge my crystals on a full moon. And so many people were doing YouTube videos and they're like, oh my God, Beyonce, I charge my crystals too. It was just like, it was crazy because I never knew anything about it. But there's so many people who do. So it's just a whole new different world. And it's nothing to be afraid of. And it's nothing to think that it's evil or anything like that. I think our minds are programmed to think those things are evil. Some things are evil, but not everything is. See, I'm so grateful. As much as I tried to look into different crystals, I just ended up buying a candle. Candles are very significant too when it comes to Wiccan. It means bad things may happen. It's like a bad omen. You can see where it looks like blood on the moon at certain times. Wow, I didn't know that. That's very interesting, Foxybot. It's so much because you don't know what you could be doing wrong. Do you drink or bathe in the moon water? What crystals are offensive? No crystals are offensive. None. I can tell you that right now. But I think you drink the moon water, if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk about that one day. Like, I'm sure there are more people like, that may watch this on the replay. There'll be a few people that might see this and be like, hey, I know about this. Trust me, we'll talk about it again because it's not a bad thing. It's nothing wrong. You can still be religious. I still love God. God has done so much for me. He has made so many miracles happen in my life and still continues to. However, I still believe in spiritual things, and I do believe spirituality is real, and I believe in the universe, and I believe that you can speak things into existence. I believe in all that stuff. And it's okay that you believe in those things. So it's definitely addicting. They are beautiful. I'm looking into crystals. I've seen people drink it, wash their hand, pour it all over their head. Right, Commander. I thought that that's what people do. They drink it, but then they wash their hands and pour it all over their head. Okay. See, we're learning something here. We're learning something. So that story was really, really scary, you guys. Not scary, but it's like, are you serious? It's almost unbelievable in a way. Like, you're kind of sitting here like, I wonder what happened to her. Like, do you think that she may have summoned the wrong deity? Or do you think that it's just a huge coincidence and she just passed away from natural causes? Do you think that maybe it was Papa Legba and he could have just been mad that, she's using this for revenge against someone that is his own? You know what I mean? You can wash your crystals in salt water or leave them out on a full moon. Yeah, because when you charge your crystals on a full moon, from my understanding, it makes them more powerful. Am I correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't it make it more powerful? And I have to figure out what the idea of crystals are. Like, I think the idea of crystals is manifesting things, and certain crystals mean something different. Like, some crystals mean like abundance, and some crystals mean positivity. Some crystals mean all colors of crystals mean different things, if I'm not mistaken. There is somebody on YouTube, if you're ever interested in looking at more of a spiritual aspect of things. But had she been African and her girlfriend African, I wonder if the same would have happened. Commander, that's a good question. I don't think so. I don't. I think when it comes to African spirituality and ancestors, it's serious. It's very, very serious. And for her to use African spirituality against an African person, it's idiotic. And obviously can be very dangerous. You know what I mean? So if your question is if she'd been African and her girlfriend been African, no, I don't think the same thing would have happened. No. But maybe though, because there were two contributing factors. One, you do not use any type of spirituality or, witchcraft for evil. And she was using it for evil. She wanted to get back at her ex-girlfriend, right? And who knows what she asked for to happen to her, right? And then the second thing was you're using African spirituality against someone who is African. So because there's two contributing factors, I think that's a good question. I like amethyst. So they are so pretty. They sell bottles of water with crystals in them on Amazon. Wow, I didn't know that. That community fights as bad as some of these communities, so be careful. Which community, sweetie? I don't use crystals anymore. Did you stop using them? I read so much on this kind of stuff and seen some good things and all, and start wondering if I'm agnostic. You may be. So if you're ever interested for anybody, there is someone on YouTube. Her name is Black Witch Yaya. And whenever I want to know like about African spirituality or spirituality in general, she even tells stories about how when people use spirituality for bad, the things that can happen. She tells true stories about that too. So if you ever are interested in things like that, I definitely feel like she's the person to watch. Do you guys know the case of Maya Millette? Her husband is in jail for her murmur. He paid someone to do spells on her to keep her from. Is that the fucking story? Oh my God, that's crazy. Black Witch Yaya a month ago told a story about a man who did spells on his wife. Okay. And from the very beginning, he had a voodoo doll of her and everything. Like literally, he did spells on her from the moment he met her. And she ended up, I do think, because Black Witch Yaya tells the story different. And the reason why is to protect the people involved in the story. And I guess I don't know if she passed away or not. That might be, I'm not sure. But yeah, I wonder if she was talking about that. That's crazy. That's a good story for me to do next. Huh. I will look into that, Commander. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight, except I'm tired. I meant like amethyst. Yeah, I know what you meant, sweetie. I wonder if there's such thing as race or color in spirit, though. Ancestry and culture, I could understand as making that difference. I think deities, yes. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's actually a good question. He tried making her fall back in love with him. He put a spell on her. He put a spell on her new man friend. The husband's name is Larry Millette. Yes, I wonder if that's the story she was talking about. Tia, there's this guy on YouTube and he will curse someone for people. Those crazy drama people used him to curse Diane's channel. It's on YouTube. Really? What in the hell is going on YouTube? Yes, I know of it. You've been looking for her for a while. She is beautiful, Commander. I will, they've been looking for her for a while. She is beautiful. I am going to do some research on that. Thank you guys for telling me about that. That's the one MGL used. That is just disgusting. That is disgusting. Are you freaking serious? People are putting curses on people's channels. That is messed up. That's just messed up. Like, how low can you go? Can you talk about intimidation? Like, jealousy? Well, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Okay? Believe that. Tia, yeah, he prays to Satan. It's, oh my God. But yet she's supposed to be a Christian, right? Disgusting human beings on YouTube, man. Disgusting human beings. Can't stand none of them. Disgusting. And like I said, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. So go ahead and try it. You're gonna lose. Period. And all that shit's gonna come back on you anyway. So what is the point of doing it? So you're using it for evil to cast spells on people's channels. You think that shit ain't gonna come back on you? Keep dreaming if you think it's not. Oh, I cannot stand that woman. Like, I really, really cannot. I'm sorry. Oh my God. But anyway, I'm watching that show tonight. MGL said not true if she actually did, though. She put death curse on someone. I heard that too. I think it was the science girl that talked about that. Did she? I mean, some disgusting human beings out there. And she's the biggest embarrassment and disgusting human being on YouTube. Like, who does that? But people want to sit here and say that okay. People want to sit here and say that Katie Joy is worse than her. Yes, Katie Joy is a horrible person. She's done some horrible things, but let me tell you something from experience. I can tell you right now, Megamouth is fucking worse. Period. Period. Hold on, let me see. All right. Why isn't it coming up? Sometimes it takes my Gmail a minute to upload. She's gotten worse in the last year or so. Oh, I know. Surprised her hands don't burn. She swings around the crucifix. Watch it. I sent it to your email. And who is this? Aw. I love Kisme. She's so sweet. Okay, where is it? You sent me an email? Because I don't see it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's in my spam. Let me check. Whose video is this, though? Because I don't want to worry about getting strikes and all that kind of stuff. No, I don't see it. I'm not surprised Jesus doesn't come down and snatch it from her and punch her in the throat. Y'all are silly. She mentioned doing a hex on Halloween and she was proud of it. She is disgusting. I wonder if the Kool-Aid channel has that clip. You know, just wondering, because that's definitely something that should be spread around for sure. But I think my my babe found the video, the show she was on. So I am going to watch that tonight and see when we talk about it. Oh, okay, they don't have anything right now. Okay. She needs anointed oil. No, it's the MGL show. She was in as an escort. I sent it last night. I did have to pay and have Amazon Prime. It might take a minute for that to load, but I'm going to watch it and I'm going to schedule that for tomorrow. So if you send it to me, it probably is in here. You send it to chopper2277@gmail.com. Wait a minute, I think I found it. Okay, I found it. Thank you for sending that to me. Okay. So, no, I got it. I got it, sweetie. So, yeah, that live, I'm going to do that probably tomorrow. I'll probably schedule it after this one is done. I watched that Secret Lies and believe every word of it. Oh, I definitely do. Hold on. Huh. All right. So thank you guys for being here. I will be back here tomorrow and we will probably be discussing this. Like I told you guys, I'm going to watch it tonight and you guys are amazing. I hope that you like this little story. I think it is very interesting and also can be very scary. So whatever it is that you choose to, be into or, try to look into as far as spirituality, make sure it's coming from a good place, not a bad place. And I think that's more or less common sense anyway. You shouldn't practice something for evil. You should practice it for good because we definitely need more good in the world, right? And I'm very blessed to have each and every one of you. Thank you to my amazing mods. You guys rock. And thank you for interacting with me and talking to me. And I hope that this story didn't scare you too much away from spirituality because I think spirituality is definitely something that you should do some soul searching with because it is very, very innocent as long as that's what your intention is. It's all about intent. So I love you guys so much and I will see you guys tomorrow. Probably around 9:30, 10. And I'm glad I was able to share this story with you because it's been on my mind for a while and I've been wanting to talk about it. So I'm glad I was able to talk to you guys about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go and curl up and watch this show. And figure out what my commentary is going to be about tomorrow. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Remember how beautiful you are, handsome. Remember how blessed you are, and tell somebody, give them a compliment tomorrow. Somebody, anybody you see, give them a compliment, because you never know how much that'll change their day. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and I will see you all tomorrow. Deuces. Love y'all. Bye.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I